Welcome to the Positive Change Methods podcast with me, Andy Smith. Each episode will bring you tips, practical change formats, and new perspectives to make your life and work better right now, drawn from Appreciative Inquiry and related approaches. This episode is brought to you by the Practical Appreciative Inquiry Facilitator Training. Let me show you how to get started using Appreciative Inquiry confidently with teams and small groups. The next live online course starts soon. You can find the details and how to book your place at coachingleaders.co.uk. Let's get started. This week, the actual nuts and bolts of how to facilitate the dream stage of Appreciative Inquiry when you're working with a team or a small group. We'll also consider how to modify the protocol so you can scale it up for larger groups of 70 or more participants. Finally, some ways of dealing with a couple of possibilities that might get in the way of the process if you're not ready for them. How to facilitate the dream stage in Appreciative Team Development. This is how I usually facilitate the dream stage when I'm working with a team or small group. It's one of many possible ways. Even if you're not using Appreciative Inquiry, you could probably still adapt this protocol to work within other approaches to team development. The basic unit here is a group of about 4 to 8 people sat around a table. For a larger group, you can have multiple tables. As with any group discussion or brainstorm, we need to guard against the conversation being captured by the most talkative and energetic members of the group. This protocol incorporates a couple of steps to make sure that introverts and less confident participants also get to have their say. 1. Briefly explain what the dream stage is about, and ask your question or questions to get people thinking about the future as if it was already happening. 2. Encourage individuals to take a few minutes to reflect silently on what the future could be like. This is to make sure that introverts and more reflective thinkers get their say as well. 3. Ask participants to share their visions in one-to-one conversations. This will be easier for less confident participants than having to present their thoughts to the whole group straight away. 4. Share the visions round the table as a group. Distribute art materials at this point. Any sooner may distract some people. With an in-the-room facilitated session, I put a box on each table containing marker pens, highlighters, a glue stick, some post-its. Remember, use branded ones as the glue on cheaper substitutes tends to fail quickly, plus balloons and coloured pipe cleaners to add a bit of 3D. With an online group, use a virtual whiteboard. Miro, M-I-R-O, is the most powerful and easiest to use app that I've found, even in the free version. 5. Ask the group to construct some kind of artwork to depict their dream. A collage, a living sculpture, a playlet, a musical work, if instruments are available, a poem, or just a presentation. 6. Also ask them to come up with a powerful, positive, evocatively worded statement, slogan, or strapline to describe the future as if it's already true. This is known as a provocative proposition or a possibility statement. Give them between 30 and 40 minutes to create a 3-minute presentation of their vision and their possibility statement. 7. Each group presents their vision collectively or via a nominated spokesperson to the rest of the room, or just to the facilitator if you're working with a small team. Optionally, you can combine the vision into a larger mural, collage, enactment, document, or online wiki if you're working with dispersed teams. This format works with up to around 8 tables, maybe 70 people. Let's have a look at a couple of fairly common what-if scenarios and how you can tweak the protocol to accommodate them. Modifying the protocol for a larger group. With a larger event beyond about 8 tables, the event might begin to lose momentum as the presentations drag on and people's hands start to hurt from applauding so many times. Here's what you could do instead of having each table present to the rest of the room. Ask each table to nominate 2 of their members as guides to their artwork, and send the other members off around the room to visit 5 or 6 other tables. The guides for those tables can explain the artwork to them. This activity might last around 20 minutes. Halfway through, the guides could swap roles with 2 others from their table, so they get to see some of what the other tables are doing. In this way, participants won't get to see all of the dreams that other tables have created, but they will get a sense of what others are creating. What if some people insist that they aren't creative? Very occasionally, I think it's happened to me twice in 15 years, you might get someone who flatly refuses to take part in any kind of creative activity, claiming that they aren't creative. Rather than trying to argue the person out of this rather limiting view of themselves, because good luck with that, you can say something like, "Great, we needed someone like you," and give them a role. You could ask them to make sure that the group keeps to time while they're creating and/or make sure that the group keeps on track and stays positive. This gives them something to do, helps them to stay feeling included, and benefits their group. Very likely within a few minutes they'll forget themselves and start participating in the creative activity. What if not everyone will be around for the dream you want them to create? For example, a few years back I was facilitating a reasonably large event for 2 probation services that were merging. The topic was around how do we carry forward the best of both services. I realized that for this group that comprised all the probation officers and managers in the 2 services, the standard dream question along the lines of, imagine it's 5 years in the future and you've just won the award for best probation service for the 3rd consecutive year, probably wouldn't work as well as usual. It wouldn't work because as part of the merger, 10% of the staff would be offered voluntary redundancy, so they wouldn't be there in 1 year's time, let alone 5. Thinking about winning awards 5 years down the line would not be very motivating for them. In fact, they might feel excluded and written off during the AI event. So instead, I asked them about legacy. What will the future service be like when it preserves and builds on the best of both current services? What has to be there for that to happen? What will that be like, and what would it feel like to work there? That question included everyone present and honoured the contributions and viewpoints of everyone, including those who would be leaving. It's important to stay flexible and responsive to the needs of the group you're working with, not least because human beings are unpredictable. For example, the Appreciative Inquiry literature is full of case studies where the AI practitioner has changed the standard terminology in order to fit with the culture of the client. So, provocative propositions might become possibility statements or aspiration statements. Thanks for listening to the Positive Change Methods podcast with me, Andy Smith. You can find the show notes at positivechangemethods.com. Please like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you like this episode, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you can review it. Or if you want to help us even more with less effort on your part, tell your friends and colleagues about the podcast. See you next time.